What's happening, guys? This is the Sound Check, checking in on the latest hip-hop headlines. And now is the classic Dr. Dre beat off of California Love with the late Tupac Shakur. Today we will be reviewing Dreamville signee Boz's new album, Too High to Riot. Boz, like I said before, is a Dreamville signee, which many people know as J. Cole's personal label. Dreamville has been very busy lately with the releases of Revenge of the Dreamers 2 and J. Cole's live performance of 2014 Forest Hills Drive that both dropped last winter.
Yeah, also worth noticing, two of the songs from Revenge of the Dreamers 2 by Boz actually made it onto this project. One being Housewives and the other being Night Job. I know when I first looked at Night Job, I went in looking for J. Cole's new stuff. But when I came out, I was ecstatic to hear more by Boz. And when I found out that he's having this new album, Too High to Riot, I was just really excited and ready to hear what he had to say. So the first track we get is the self-titled song, Too High to Riot. It's got a laid-back beat, and it's more of a soothing song with the catchy, repetitive chorus. I think it's kind of funny because that's a lot what J. Cole goes for, the repetitive chorus. Yeah. I guess it's a Dreamville norm.
We heard a lot of that from 2014 Forest Hills Drive and his previous work before that. But this song, to kick off the album, has decent production with some quick drum segments, solid rapping with some pretty nice bars here and there, and there's not much of a chorus, like you said, kind of forgettable, which is somewhat unfortunate for it being the same name as the title of the album, but I guess it'll do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It's just catchy, and some people like that, some people don't.
Next on the track listing comes Methylone, and this song transitions well production-wise from the first track. It continues to touch on the subject of drugs with him referencing to methylone. Has a cool vibe in the chorus. It's a big step up from the song before this. And I really enjoyed this track. It's worthy of bumping in the whip, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the other end of this. It just didn't do much for me. It had the theme of talking about the drugs sold and used. And other than the vibe it brings, it just was kind of a forgettable track. I don't know. It's good to listen to, but I don't know how much I would. Next, we get Dopamine, another song about drugs. At this point, I'm feeling really relaxed with this music, kind of set back and wanting to just chill. It's got an uplifting chorus. You're never low as you think. I thought that was pretty heartwarming and pretty good by Boz.
The beat can do without the different clicks on the drum percussion instruments in the background. But I love the uplifting string sample. I really enjoyed the chorus, and it fits well with the string sample. It features Dreamville signee Cause. This is the only appearance by Cause, but I think he comes through on the opening verse of the song. Up next on the track listing comes Housewives. And like the track before this, it has a killer string layer in the production. But also, like the previous song, I'm really not digging the multiple drums. It gets pretty sloppy.
Yeah, I guess it's just him fitting with the feel of the album, I'm guessing. It's one as a whole. But the song, it's pretty good. It's about kind of his doubters, talking trash about him. There's nothing too great about it. It's a good song, but not one of my favorites.
We finally get to see a standout synth in one of these songs. But I feel like it's a little out of place compared to the other parts of the production. And the lyrics talk about how certain people are always annoying and bitching like housewives, according to the hook. But like you, it doesn't really do much for me. So hopefully it'll pick up towards the middle of this album.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for kind of a meaningful song, just something that I can feel him feeling it, you know? Next, we get the Miles and Miles track. It's kind of a quick interlude. It's just them kind of singing, doing some melodies. Nothing too much, but not very complex, but really good, I think.
I love the synth 808 machine on the keys. Like you said, it's like a brief and enjoyable interlude. Not a lot of lyrics or meaning behind it. The lyrics talk about feeling the vibe as it goes miles and miles, like the title says. And it's just a nice little taste of beautiful production and melody.
I think it's kind of funny how I keep on saying that I'm feeling the same vibe throughout this whole album. And they actually say it. You feel the vibe? Yes, I do, Boz's. The calming and soothing vibe is definitely there.
Right after this quick interlude comes Live For, and this song talks about how you should do the most while you're living because you have something to live for. And this is an ode to his late aunt that passed away due to cancer. He talks about his love towards his aunt and what she meant to him before her passing. And it doesn't do much for me production-wise, but I do like the meaning behind the song as a whole. I do respect that.
This is the first song that I can really feel him within the song. Him, like you said, talking about the death of his aunt, I feel like that got out of him pretty well. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. It just makes me feel really good and kind of gets me to the next track feeling good as well. Clouds Never Get Old is the next track. This is kind of the odd song out on the album. It's more of a loud, upbeat song, and I thought that was kind of a little bit of a good change that he had here.
Like the previous song, it has decent production, nothing too special, but it does get the job done. Boss talks about how he's never met a girl like the girl he's seeing right now and how he's experiencing with her. He takes us through the times he's having with this girl, and I really like the ending of the hook where he talks about his best pickup line is him having money, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty much his love story about how girls like how he has money. I like that.
It's a pretty enjoyable and relatable story for some people. After this comes Matches, and he talks about how he's realized that he's getting more famous and getting more noticed now that Dreamville as a whole is getting bigger. He mentions that the girls he would approach before his fame at bars would turn him down previously and is now offering him to buy a drink, which a lot of rappers could relate to, I guess.
Yeah, he's drinking with the video girls now, as he says.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of shocked me here is he changes up his flow. When I heard it, it reminded me a lot of TDE signee Isaiah Rashad, kind of choppy and here and there. I like it, actually. It's pretty interesting how he uses it, and I thought it was pretty good.
I like the repetitive keys, and I also love the heavy, deep synth buried in the background during the chorus of the song. And it also has an awesome appearance from the Hicks, and it brings the song home.
I like this track. He's trying to understand the high life because he is relatively new to it, and the Dreamville label itself is just moving so fast towards it. And I think that leads really well into this next song, Night Job. I said it before, this is on the Revenge of the Dreamers 2, and this is easily my favorite song on the album. It is just crazy rapping by J. Cole and Bozzy. They just really hit it off on this one.
This is a hard-hitting, infectious beat, along with both Boz and Jermaine spitting some hot bars. Cole's second verse in particular being very hard in my opinion, and Jeremiah killing the break in the middle of the track. Easily one of the best and one of my favorite songs on the album.
Oh yeah, I think they just describe their rap careers perfectly in this song, and talking about their night job being them rapping after having to do their own job to live, pretty much. They're just both tearing through this amazing beat. I thought that was really good as well. And J. Cole even gets a little touching by saying, finally got Bossy off the corner. 010 thought he was a goner. That was pretty good. That really got me in the feels.
Yeah. Right after that amazing track comes Ricochet, and I absolutely love this production with the futuristic guitar synth in the beginning and the Hicks leading the song off like a couple songs before. The lyrics touch on the time that is quickly passing, with Boz missing his girl that is quickly leaving his grasp. And I think this correlates with the songs before it, talking about the same girl and what he's gone through with this girl. So I kind of like that sort of segment on the album. And the meaning behind the title is that even though they're drifting apart, he still has faith that they'll end up being back together while everything goes crazy as it ricochets.
Kind of like karma will come into play is what he's kind of thinking of. Also, I like to say that I like the transition from Night Job to Ricochet, kind of going from the upbeat, just one of his best songs, to a quick vocal melody from the Hicks. Kind of makes you think and just relax yourself and get ready for what he has next. We get Penthouse after that, and I like the transition into the song. He has been doing really well with that throughout the album. He goes from him without a girl right back to one from the last song to this one. I thought that was kind of funny as well. Just the tone completely flips. He's kind of talking about how he just doesn't want to feel the pain of just life, I guess.
I like the same synth that continues into this song. It sounds like these last two songs are like one whole song, really. And Boz immediately picks up the beat, rapidly spitting about picking himself back up and he enjoys being in his own personal fantasy, but others, such as his mother, doesn't really appreciate this different mindset. To close out the album's black-owned business, in the beginning, production that ends up playing throughout the song sounds a lot like Mad Villain's accordion, almost exactly the same, actually. It's a very fitting ending, as Boz shouts out to all of his haters saying that probably never thought he'd make it this far in his career.
Yeah, it's like his "He Made It" song, and it's a great outro. It's got good production, and I like how he says, "Can't you hear the applause from me?" kind of as like a standing ovation.
Oh, yeah. I really enjoyed this song, especially because it's a great song to close out this solid album. So, Adam, what do you think about this whole project?
Well, throughout this album, I really felt comforted by the same tone and vibe. It was very smooth and pretty consistent throughout the album. The only problem is that there just aren't that many parts that completely stood out for me. I feel like he is a rapper that can eventually grow into something huge, but as of his project, his lyrics were hit and miss. Night Job, obviously, you guys can probably tell, it was my favorite track on the album, and it was a great hit. He got big help from J. Cole, but Bozzy's lines were still good. This is the first time I've listened to a full-length album by Boz, and I will have to say it's really enjoyable. Other than a couple of forgettable songs, I thought the album was decent, but I think he can do better. I'm content with giving Too High to Riot a C. What about you?
That's pretty fair. I thought this was a very fine output from Boz, and this is what I expected to hear going into this project. Not only did I get what I thought I was going to, but I ended up being a little more pleased and impressed with what he gave me. I felt that he was trying to do too much on the production side, and I was left with sloppy and busy beats on the first few tracks. As the album went on, though, I felt that he picked up the quality of the songs quickly, ending very strong. Other than the first few songs, I really enjoyed the production. I thought it fit well with the tone and the meaning of the lyrics. The features were very solid, and some of the themes in these songs were very meaningful and retrospective. My favorite tracks are Ricochet and Night Job. Some of the outputs that weren't as good were Too High to Riot, Clouds Never Get Old, and Matches. But in the end, I'm giving this album a comfortable C+.
That's solid. I'll take it from Boz. Well, that's all we have today. If you enjoyed this, go check out our previous 3 reviews. We have one on The Life of Pablo, This Unruly Mess I've Made, and the newest one is Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered on our official SoundCloud and YouTube pages. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at the SCheck and email us any hip-hop questions you might have. What are you listening to?
Should we review it?
Send us your opinions and new ideas for the show to our official email, thesoundcheck2015@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning into the Soundcheck as we officially sound off.